What's going on, Smack Fitness family, YouTube family? This is your boy, Sean Mckenzie. And today we're going to be talking about nutrition for everything. And I have a guest here with me. Her name is Nicole Khan, and she's a nutritionist, and she's very involved in the community in health and wellness. So I want to talk to her. I want to ask her a few questions about nutrition. My first question is to her is, as my nutritionist, okay, what would be an example of a balanced diet, balanced meal, I guess?
Okay, so in a balanced meal, you always want to incorporate your carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And these certain foods are within something called macronutrients. And when you're actually consuming your macronutrients, you're also introducing your body to micronutrients. And micronutrients include your vitamins and minerals. So an example of, like, for breakfast, an example of a balanced meal would be like one boiled egg, which is your protein, a whole wheat toast, which is your carb, and then like a serving of yogurt, which would be your fat, and then maybe a sprinkle of blueberries on top. And then for lunch, an example would be like a whole wheat pasta with vegetables, which would be your carb, and then grilled chicken, which is your protein, and then you can choose like a low-fat dressing as your fat.
Got it. See, people? See? You get your fats, you get your carbs, and your protein.
Yes.
All in one meal.
Yes.
Setting.
Every
so
meal.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
Or even snacks.
Mm-hmm.
See? Okay. What would be an ideal pre or post-workout snack that a beginner would need for muscle mass, to gain muscle?
Okay, so a pre-workout snack is really essential for adolescents and kids.
Right.
Just because, they're growing and they need to support their development through energy and nutrition. Mm-hmm. It's also essential, like you said, for people that want to gain muscle and also gain weight. So what you want to focus on is carbohydrates. So the reason why is you can get enough energy to sustain your energy levels throughout your workout and not feel fatigued.
Right.
So an example of that would be, like half of a banana or half a whole wheat toast or bagel. Now for the post-workout snack, again, it's still essential for, like kids and adolescents, as well as people that are trying to gain muscle or weight. And also for people who experience a lot of soreness after workouts.
Soreness after a workout, yeah. That's even me still.
Yeah. So, what you want to focus on in that is a lot of protein as well as energy. Energy so you can, again, sustain your energy levels from your intense workout. Protein because it'll help develop the muscle that you were working out.
Right.
So an example of that would be, my go-to snack is always like a glass of milk with a handful of nuts and fruit.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then, for our peanut butter lovers, you can have like a tablespoon of peanut butter with some yogurt.
Yeah, I can eat the whole thing of peanut butter.
See, we want to avoid that,
yeah,
though.
Right.
But yeah, as I said, it'll help sustain energy levels, you'll feel better, and you can go about your day not feeling fatigued.
So how much protein should people consume, I guess on a regular day?
So, like the general public, for the average person, we really want people to consume about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So like, for instance,
my body weight, 230 pounds, I would need 230 pounds of protein.
So you would convert your pounds to kilograms.
Gotcha.
And then that would be the amount of protein you should intake.
Gotcha.
Now for people that are trying to actually gain muscle, it is recommended to increase your protein intake. And it's really recommended about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
Wow.
The reason why is just because, protein obviously helps with muscle development. But for people who expect to have, like a high protein diet and not work out, but expect to have a lot of muscle development, that's not going to work because the protein that you consume, you have to use it. So otherwise, it's just going to turn into fat.
Speaking of protein, what about BCAAs? I heard, good things about them, but should I put them in my body?
So BCAAs are also known as branched-chain amino acids, and they're given that name because of its chemical structure. And basically what they do is they promote muscle development while suppressing muscle loss during an intense workout.
Got it.
So it is really essential, and just an example of what the amino acids are, it's specifically isoleucine, leucine, and valine.
Yes.
And a lot of bodybuilders happen to only have protein shakes that say BCAAs, and those are like the only amino acids within the actual mix. And that's okay, but the only problem is, first of all, it's probably like a low quality powder. It's a low quality protein and it's over processed. Also, if you're only relying on that and not keeping up with a balanced, holistic diet, you may be in risk of actually becoming deficient in other amino acids.
Wow.
So,
did not know that.
Yeah. So, this is kind of like a rare thing, but it's always good to be aware of it. So what I would suggest is, you can get your BCAAs naturally from chicken, fish, eggs.
The natural stuff, right?
Yeah, like soy products and, lentils and nuts.
What about if I'm working out and I want to take some protein out of BCAAs? Is that good?
That's okay, but like I said, make sure that you understand what you're putting into your body.
Right.
Look at the ingredients.
Gotcha.
Also, keep up with a holistic diet and, also have natural sources of protein.
Why is water so important when it comes to bodybuilding or working out?
So basically our bodies are made out of water, first of all, so we have to, of course, keep up with our water intake so we can avoid dehydration. It's also important because if you're involved in a lot of intense workouts, or if you work out outside and it's really hot, you're losing a lot of sweat. And sweat is water, so you have to, again, keep up with your water intake. Lastly, it's really important if you're on a high protein diet, for example, a bodybuilder.
Right.
The reason why is because naturally our body needs to excrete ammonia from meat.
I heard of that.
Yeah, from protein. If you were not consuming enough water throughout the day, your body could actually have ammonia building up, and what happens is your blood, urine, nitrogen levels will actually rise,
right?
Yielding in your kidneys, or resulting in your kidneys actually overworking and trying to break down the protein byproducts.
Got it.
So, for just the average person, about 8 cups of water is pretty typical. For a bodybuilder,
for a person like me, because I lift weights all the time.
Yeah.
And probably some of my viewers out there, they lift weights all the time.
Yeah.
And so what would be their...
So, if you're on a protein diet and you're lifting weights, you should be at least consuming maybe 10 cups of water or more. But it really depends on the person because everyone's body is different.
Right.
So whatever you're comfortable with, but
Gotcha.
Just make sure that you're increasing it somehow.
What would I do about prepping my meals? I guess? How would I do that and stay on a strict schedule?
Basically, you want to just commit. A lot of people commit Sundays to meal prep. What they do is they go grocery shopping in the morning, they buy all the ingredients, and then when they get home, they do all the cooking. They either freeze the meals or if it's sustainable, they'll put it in the refrigerator. It also basically starts with the containers you use.
Some people got the bigger containers,
right.
Very small
Yeah.
containers.
So it's really fun if you use really cool containers that have cool little cubbies for specific things. There's a great brand that I use. It's called Sistema, and it's great. They have like really cool compartments, and it just makes sense. It makes meal prepping easier because you're like, oh, well, here's a salad compartment, so I might as well make a salad.
Right.
So it's a lot of planning, and it can be very challenging in the beginning.
Got it.
But it's all about just writing it down. What do you want to eat? Maybe sitting down with a registered dietitian or nutritionist.
Like yourself.
Yeah, like me. And we can guide you and to what specifically you want to do, what you want to accomplish nutritionally.
See people, you see what she said. All the stuff she's saying, take it in and use it, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, whatever she's saying all about everything, the water, the protein, the carbs, the fats, prepping your meals, everything. I want you to take this in and start. You got to start somewhere, and this is a good start. So thank you for coming, and thank you for giving everybody all this great knowledge.
No problem.
Nutrition.
Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Your information is going to be in the description box in this video. So
yeah,
hopefully they can reach you then and get some good. You can give them some advice.
Yes, I am very excited.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Good job.
See.
Right on.